Alright guys, today I'm doing a book review of the Goosebumps book. Today I'm doing a book review of the Goosebumps book, How I Learned to Fly. This book was not scary at all, but I really, really liked it. So, read the back if you want. Okay, pause it or whatever. And basically, so there's this kid, he's called what's called Jack. And he's a massive simp. He has this crush on this girl called Mia, and he has this. There's this guy called Wilson that always one-ups him. So he's like, oh well, I don't know. This is just an example. You watched 2 movies in one day. I watched 6.5. Well, not that isn't really a good example, but basically he's like, oh, I can do blank. Oh, you can do this. I can do that better than you. And yeah. So Wilson, he's really annoying. I despised him. One of my least favorite Goosebumps characters, if not my least favorite out of the books I've just read in the past month. Yeah, I just hated Wilson so much. Though I also didn't really like Jack that much because he was a massive simp. But basically, so they both have a crush on this girl called Mia, and they go to her birthday party, and she's opening presents and everything, and Jack Mia likes a band or something called Purple Rose, so maybe a reference to Purple Rain, I don't know. But yeah, so he gets her a CD of Purple Rose or whatever, and then she's like, "Oh, thanks so much, Wilson." and then she no, then she's like, "Thanks so much, Jack. It's Jack's present, not Wilson." And then Wilson's like, "Oh well, I got her tickets for Purple Rose concert." And then she's like, "Oh yay," and everything. And then Jack, he just screams and runs out of the house. If you have a massive crush on her, I don't think it would be a good idea to scream and run out of her birthday party. But anyway, so then he goes to this old abandoned house. He falls through the floor like Bugs Bunny. He straight up I don't know, the floor breaks below him, and he falls into the basement, finds this book called Flying Lessons, and it tells him and then he goes home, reads the book, and it tells him this, weird, quirky little stuff that's, so it tells him to, I think it's put one of his feet over his shoulder and his other foot under his chin, and, so he does that, and it takes him a while to untangle himself, and then some other stuff, and then eventually he needs to make this really weird, gloop thing, and he needs to put it in an envelope, and basically his dog starts eating, the gloopy liquid thing, and then his dog starts flying, so then he's like, oh dang, I gotta get a taste of this myself, so he gets a taste of that himself, so he, has a bit of it, and then he starts flying. He saves his dog from, burning up, going up into space and suffocating, and yeah. So then, for a week, he's prepared. He's been asking to do a race with Wilson, and okay, now I'm gonna get into spoiler territory. Before I get into spoiler territory, I just want to say I thought the characters were really good. I think I gave this book an 8 out of 10, maybe even 8.5. I really enjoyed this. Yeah, Mia was fine. Wilson, I despised him, but as actual character writing, he was really good. And Jack was also really good. And yeah, they're basically the 3 mains. Right, spoiler territory in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Crap, I accidentally sweared at you. Okay, so basically what happens is they do the race that I was talking about, and he's about to do this big thing where he's going to show everyone he can fly. So he goes, and then it turns out Wilson can fly too. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. I always forget to mention something really important. Yeah, Wilson is a massive nerds, comic book nerds and everything. So yeah, Wilson can fly too. It's just Yeah, because Wilson, you know, the funny little guy, he just secretly broke into Jack's house, ate the recipe and everything because he knew he could fly. Of course he did. Anyway, so yeah, Wilson could fly too, and then eventually, I think they like accidentally reveal it to the school. Oh yeah, here's another really annoying thing. Wilson's like, hey, maybe you could be my sidekick. As in, like, you know, Jack didn't discover it first or anything. But, yeah. So they go to school and I think they end up flying and then everyone notices and they're like, oh, he can fly. So they become these big international superstars. Wilson, he's like loving it and everything, though Jack, he like absolutely hates it. He's like not a competitive kid. And, yeah, and he does this, what did he do next? Yeah, and the government. His dad. He's like, he wants Wilson to get on like these big reality talk shows, make his own movie and everything. Though he like doesn't want to do it at all. And then, eventually, like the government. This part was like. I know this sounds really stupid because there's like way scarier Goosebumps scenes than this. Though the government, they do like a ton of tests on him and they make them go in this like weird chair and they make him like go flying in different positions and like, I don't know, I just found that like really uncomfortable and kind of scary. Like I obviously wouldn't want to be in that situation. Yeah, so... so then what happens is Wilson, his dad tells him that Jack's dad tells him that him and Wilson are going to do this massive race, like all the way to the Hollywood sign or something, and there's going to be 2 billion viewers. So then, what Jack does, so basically, it's like countdown for the race. 3, 2, 1, and suddenly Jack can't fly, but like Wilson soars into the air and comes back and he gets the $1 million cash prize. I don't know if I mentioned the $1 million thing, but yeah, gets $1 million cash prize. But Jack, he just can't fly anymore, and Wilson, he becomes like super famous and everything, and yeah, he says like he heard somewhere that the government do tests on him like every week or something, and yeah, and he says he's like really happy, and he gets to hang out with Mia more. I don't think it ever says that he starts like dating her or anything, but then yeah, it's like Wilson, super famous, he's happy for Wilson, and then it turns out at the very end that he actually can fly, but he just didn't want to be like famous or it anymore, so yeah. Anyway, I thought this was a really, really good book, even though it was not scary at all. Like, it kind of is hypocrisy. Reader beware, you're in for a scare. R.L. Stine is also known as like the master of fright. Yeah, I read that book yesterday, and if you saw my Welcome to Dead House book review, I also read that yesterday, though I'll probably be uploading it today. And next I'm gonna review Monster Blood 2. Already read that, and yeah, so really good book. Probably 8.5 out of 10. Anyway, bye.